our panel to come up, and as they get seated, I know that was supposed to be a positive, leave us with positive feelings. It was very interesting and thought-provoking. It was a little bit frightening, especially the part where Dan talked about that there is absolutely no apparent understanding of economics in Washington, D.C. We kind of all knew that, but to kind of hear that was something. Our panel is going to be on outsourcing. The title is The Next Outsourcing Frontier. We're very excited to have with us Adrian He from Wachovia Wells Fargo, Peter Kneveny with BNY Mellon Asset Servicing, and Roxana Wall with UBS AG. Our moderator of the session is Andy Estafu, who is the director for the Global Banking and Sourcing Program at Nelson Hall. I'll go ahead and turn it right over to Andy.
Hello, everybody. How are you today? Okay, today's presentation or panel is on outsourcing, the next frontier. We have three panelists that will be speaking with us. I work at Nelson Hall, which is an industry analyst firm, and I have responsibility for the development and delivery of our research and advisory services on the banking industry. Adrian He is leading and managing Wells Fargo's offshoring team, which is focused on wholesale banking and risk, credit, and marketing divisions. Peter is managing director for operations outsourcing in the Americas for Bank of New York Mellon. And Roxana is responsible for working with business and function leaders across UBS to define and drive outsourcing and offshoring related strategies. As a first start to our presentation today, we thought that it might be important at least to set up a definition of outsourcing. If this was the Oxford Debating Society, I'd set up a very easy straw person to knock down. I'd probably say that outsourcing was anything done within the corporation, and then they could easily knock it down. But I think for the purposes of today, I'll set up a smaller straw man, which is outsourcing is a third party or external provisioning of a service such as IT or a process such as business process outsourcing. I think there are certain key attributes of outsourcing. First of all would be that it's an arm's length transaction. Second, that it's commercially contracted and transparent, therefore. Third would be that it's contractually defined or articulated, so it's subject to SLAs, therefore. And finally, that pricing is transparent. That doesn't mean that it's clear, but it does mean that it's not implied. So we're here to ask what the panelists' views are on key issues. We're here to discuss how the outsourcing industry is responding to the financial crisis. At Nelson Hall, we completed a study interviewing banking executives around the world, and what we found out was that in 2009, on average, their shared services centers, which are internal to the corporations, experienced, on average, a 7.8% decline in transactions volume. When we've interviewed BPO providers and other outsourcers, their experience, many of them in 2009, was that several, not all, but several of the long-standing contracts were either reduced in scope or internalized last year. Things are certainly looking up in 2010, but the same survey I referenced indicated that the banks anticipate a further, on average, 0.1% decline in transaction volume. Now, that was done in February. Conditions continue to change rapidly. That is, while on average it's a negative number, not a positive number yet, that's still very small. Certainly what we're seeing in contract awards is the second half of 2009. First half of 2009 continued